Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Calm with Carlyn, yoga and meditation for your everyday life. Today we have a restorative yoga practice. So unlike a traditional vinyasa practice when we move from pose to pose, we'll be holding more relaxing poses for a longer period of time. These poses sometimes can create really deep openings in the muscles, so there could be a little bit of discomfort, but I encourage you to just use your breath to get through it. We don't need any props for class, just your mat and a comfy place to stretch. And we're gonna get started lying on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. I'll see you there. In Supta Baddha Konasana, we bring the soles of the feet to touch. We just let the knees splay out wide. Now this can create a little bit of discomfort in the legs. If you feel like you need support, we're going to be using our hands as our props for a lot of class today. So you're going to create two fists with your hands if you're feeling any discomfort. And you're just going to slide those fists right underneath the thighs. And having that place for the legs to rest should decrease a little bit of the discomfort in the body. If you feel comfortable just having the knees out wide and you don't feel the need to use the fists as little blocks, you can feel free to rest one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And with one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, you'll physically start to feel the breath moving in the body. Feeling the inhale as the belly and the chest rise, and feeling the exhale as they slowly fall, belly button pulling in towards spine. We'll take about 5 breaths here to get grounded in our practice, to come into this space mentally. So any thoughts that come up, just let them go, set them off to the side. You can get back to them when class is over. Two more breaths. As you let go of that final exhale, slowly just start to send the left leg out long in front of you and hug the right knee into the chest, giving it a nice big squeeze. And then just start to draw some circles with the right ankle. Maybe you hear some cracks and pops, that's totally fine. After a couple circles, take them in the opposite direction. Showing some love to parts of our body that sometimes we might neglect: the ankle, the toes, maybe the bottoms of the feet. We'll show the bottoms of the feet some love as we come into this half happy baby now. So take your left hand on top of your left thigh and hug the right knee in towards the right armpit as you grab onto the inside or the outside of the right foot with the right hand. And from here, you can kind of start to just massage the bottom of the right foot, maybe hitting on some pressure points that feel good, and showing a little love to our feet, which we stand on all day long. And then as you settle in here, take one more breath. And then we'll move into a twist. So gently guide that bent right knee across that straight left leg. And then come to gaze past your right shoulder. Your right arm can be bent in a cactus shape. Or if you have the space, maybe the right arm is long, extending from the shoulder. We'll be here for a few breaths, just settle in. 2 more breaths. At the bottom of the second exhale, slowly make your way back through center. Hug the right knee into the chest one more time. And then we'll switch out the legs. So extend the right leg out long, and this time hug the left knee into the chest. Again, show some love to that ankle and the toes. Drawing some circles in one direction as you hug the knee to the chest. And after a couple rounds, you'll take those circles in the opposite direction. Beautiful. And then showing some love to the bottoms of the feet as we move into our half happy baby, taking the right hand on top of the right thigh and hugging that left knee in towards the left armpit. You can just kind of take some time here to apply some pressure, the bottom of the foot with the fingertips, almost like you're giving yourself a little massage. And just stay here for one more breath. And then when you're ready, hug the left knee back into the chest and gently guide that bent left knee across the straight right leg. Your left arm rather, can be bent at a cactus shape, or maybe it just extends long. Don't worry about how much the left knee moves towards the ground. Just keep both of the shoulders grounded as this twist remains in your torso. And settle in for a few breaths. Two more breaths here. As you're ready, gently come back to center. Hug the left knee into the chest one more time, and then hug the right knee into the chest and gently rock up to a tabletop position. Taking your time to get there. This is a restorative class, so we're not exerting a ton of energy. The goal is really relaxation. And from our tabletop position, we'll come right to a puppy pose. So keeping the knees underneath the hips, start to walk the hands forward. And make your way into this very slowly, because we will be here again for about 5 breaths as you sink the forehead, the chest, or the chin down to the ground. Sometimes I like to tap the tops of my feet here. A little energy release. And take your last breath or two in this puppy pose. And then as you're ready, slowly start to walk the hands just slightly back in towards center. Just thread that right arm underneath the left for a thread the needle pose. Your left arm can stay out long. It can come at your side, or maybe you take it around for a half bind. Do whatever feels the most relaxing, the most restorative. 5 breaths. Last one here. Beautiful. And then come back through center, almost like we're moving back into that puppy pose, but this time threading the left arm underneath the right, coming down to the left shoulder, the left ear. And try and find whatever you did on the other side just to keep some evenness in the shoulders. Breathing for 5. Last breath here. And then when you're ready, bring the hands back in through center, and we'll come up to sit on the heels. So pressing the toes into the mat. Take an inhale here, interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, take a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, let go. 1 more time. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. And then go ahead and bring the hands down to the mat. Come onto the feet, keep the knees bent, and just fold over in a ragdoll position. Taking the hands, interlacing them at the base of the skull, and gently pressing down, tucking the chin to the chest, rocking side to side. Releasing tension not just in the backs of the legs, but also in the back of the neck and the head. At the bottom of this next exhale, bend the knees to bring the hands back down to the ground and slowly make your way back to a tabletop position. I'm going to turn to face you just for a little bit more space. From this tabletop position, keep the left knee bent underneath the left hip and take the right foot out long at your side, creating this half side lunge position. You'll start to feel a nice big stretch in the right inner thigh. And if you have the space in the body, just come down to the forearms. Let the head hang heavy. You might even stack the fists on top of one another to give your head a place to rest. Just be here for a couple breaths, maybe rocking back and forth to increase the intensity of the stretch. Really pressing down into the pinky edge side of the right foot to keep stability. If you came down to the forearms or you're resting your forehead on your fists, slowly make your way out of that, coming back onto the palms. Take a moment just to really feel the effects of that stretch in the right inner thigh. And then gently bend the right knee, plant it underneath the right hip. And we'll take that to the other side, taking the left leg out long beside you, pressing into the pinky edge side of the left foot. And then from here, if you have the space in the body, come down to the forearms, take some rocks back and forth. And again, you're welcome to stack your fists on top of one another. Creating that little resting place for the forehead as you take nice deep breaths here. Again, if you went elsewhere in this stretch, start to come back to the forearms and then eventually back up onto the hands. Before you go anywhere, just take a moment to feel the effects of the stretch, and then go ahead and bend the left knee, take it right underneath the left hip. And from here, now that we've stretched out our inner thighs, we're gonna set up for a frog pose. This is one of the ones that's a little bit tougher to stay in for a longer period of time, but we're gonna do our best here, taking nice deep breaths. As the knees are bent, we'll start to walk them a little bit further away from each other. And eventually you'll meet your edge and you'll turn your toes to face opposite directions, so the insides of the ankles will be resting on the ground. And then you'll just come down to the forearms and kind of reach the seat back towards the heels. This is a really intense stretch, especially if you hit legs yesterday like me. Notice where there's tension in the body. And as you inhale, imagine that the breath is a color, and that color is traveling to the part of the body where you feel that tension, that tightness. And as the color spreads throughout that area of the body, it creates physical space, releasing tension. And as you watch that color move out of the body, feel the tension move out of the body as well as you settle in, or at least become a little bit more comfortable with the tension. Of course, as you settle in here, you're welcome to go deeper, continuing to walk the knees in opposite directions, intensifying the stretch in the hips and the inner thighs. And for intense postures like this, we tend to hold tension sometimes in parts of the body that aren't even really involved in the pose. So notice if you're clenching through the jaw or pressing your tongue into the roof of the mouth. Let go, let the face be soft. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Don't let that tension build up in areas of the body that don't have to be working right now. Let your breath do the work for you. Let your breath allow you to settle in. We've only got 3 more here. When you're ready, really take your time coming out of this posture, slowly coming up onto the hands. I like to take my toes together first and then walk my seat back, almost like I'm coming into a child's pose. And then I bring my knees together. And just take a moment here, stand up on the shins and just shake it out. Find a little bit of movement in the body. And then we'll come onto our back, setting up for a figure 4. And for this figure 4, I recommend being near a wall. I'm going to show you a modification that you can use to take any work out of this posture. So I'm going to have my head towards you. And for this version of figure 4, you can take your left foot on top of the right knee, and you can stay in this traditional figure 4 pose. Or instead of bringing the right knee in towards the face and really using the strength of the arms to pull that right knee towards you, just press the right foot into the wall in front of you and let your arms go along at your sides. So the only work we're really doing here is pressing the left knee away from the center of the body to stretch out that hip. We don't have to worry about anything else. Just lie here and breathe. Take your last 2 or 3 breaths on this side. And then as you're ready to come out, just remove that right foot from the wall, let it come back down to the ground, and then allow the left knee to follow. And we'll take that to the other side, crossing the right foot on top of that left knee or thigh. And again, you can stay here, or you can press that left foot into the wall in front of you, pressing the right knee away from the center of the body, and just keeping your arms out long here. Nice gentle opening in the right hip. Using that wall for the support of the left foot and decreasing the amount of work that we want to do in the body. Restorative yoga class. Take your last 2 or 3 breaths on this side. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bring the left foot back down to the ground, and then allow the right foot to follow. Maybe from here you just separate the feet a little bit more and gently windshield wiper the knees side to side, releasing the low back and still feeling that frog pose. And then when you're ready, just come to lie on your back with your legs out long in front of you. And for our Shavasana today, you're welcome to take a traditional Shavasana or Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet to touch like we did in the beginning of class. Sometimes in a restorative class, I keep my arms out long for Shavasana. Sometimes I take them up and over the head, really opening through the shoulders, finding a nice full body stretch. We'll only be here for about a minute. So take this final moment just to release the body and feel the effects of those stretches. Whenever you're ready, just gently roll onto either your left or your right side. And then from that side lying fetal position, just gently start to press yourself up to a seated position. And from that seated position, take your hands to heart center in prayer. And then take the thumbs to the third eye center. Keeping the thumbs and the pinkies touching, peel the 3 middle fingers away from each other, creating an opening to let the light in, remembering that there's always light to be let in. And I thank you all for sharing your practice with me. I bow with namaste. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like this class if you enjoyed it. Comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow me on Instagram at Calm with Carlyn, or visit my website, www.calmwithcarlyn.com. And I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Bye.